I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit.
Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus 3 TCG. Today we're going to be having a little discussion today. Now that we have a semi-stale format, because we really don't know when we're going to be getting a ban list, and even when we do, let's face it, y'all, we might not be seeing Firewall off of the ban list, unless the ban list comes here in like a month, because they need time to sell Summon Sorceress, and they need combo decks to still be a thing while they're releasing the Summon Sorceress. Anyways, to get off that soapbox, while this stale format is progressing, if you will, I wanted to talk about some rogue strategies that can potentially work, well, maybe not even work in the meta, but could work if they had better support. They would be maybe more consistent or more viable, something along that nature. And I'm going to be talking about 3 decks today. We're going to be talking about Fur Hire, Cybers, and Magical Musketeers, all of which have recently got support. Cybers got support, but not the support they needed by any means. So we're going to be trying to potentially solve the issues that these decks have. So the first one we're going to be jumping into is Fur Hire. So I think one of the first problems that this deck has is that once you get the effect negated to special from hand, you often don't have a way to follow up with this. Now, I think a way to mitigate this would be to maybe add a spell that specials a level 4 or lower from your hand, but maybe its effect when another one is summoned is negated for the rest of the turn, like Beat Search effect, that would be negated, or Helmer's Draw effect, that would be negated. And I wanted to make sure that it's level 4 or lower, because we don't want to be able to easily summon out the bosses. We want this deck to be fair. We don't want it to be broken. So a card like that might help. This way you'd at least be able to special summon from hand, allowing you to potentially combo off further. I don't know if this would necessarily solve the issue, but I know it would allow you to at least have more follow-ups. And the thing about really good decks like Thunder Dragons, Goki, Trickstar, things like that, they have a lot of follow-up plays. And that's one thing that I don't think Fur Hire has, because once you either Ghost Ogre the Fur Hire monster, or you negate the Fur Hire effect to special summon another one from hand, they often don't have a follow-up play for that, and I think something like this would mitigate a lot of their turns just ending after you negate one of their effects. I also think that searching the spells and traps is a really integral part that Fur Hires are missing. They have some decent ones. I think the biggest one being Mayhem. The field spell's all right. You get to add whatever you want by like missing your draw phase. However, that's not that good. It's cool, but it's not that good. You want to draw your cards. However, that Mayhem is nasty. So a way to search that, I think, would be a little more ideal. Now we don't have a level 1 yet, but I would argue that that's if that were to be the card to search out the spell and traps, I think that'd be a little bit too broken. That's a little too consistent of a means to get such a powerful card like Mayhem for Hire. Even though you have the chance of searching the other ones, let's face it, y'all, the best one is Mayhem for Hire, so that's probably the one that you're going to be searching most often. And if you have a level 1 that searches it, that's way too easy to get it, because essentially we have Rhoda. Rhoda gets beat. If you have an additional extender in your hand, beat summons it, gets to level 1, that extender searches, or that extender specials to level 1. There's just too many plays that you can do with that to be able to search it. So I think that's a little too good, especially with the the way that I was just talking about how it's a little too searchable. If we did get a level 1 though, I wouldn't mind it having an effect like Seals. I think it should be something like Seals, because it, maybe not being able to grab a Fur Hire, but maybe having it grab a spell or trap from grave, just allowing more recyclability, because I think a Link 2 with a similar effect like Folgo, allowing you to add a spell trap card for Hire from your deck to your hand, would be much more fair, because you have to go into a Link 2 in order, you have to get rid of 2 of your monsters in order to be able to add that card. So you already have to have a decent hand for it to be effective and get max value out of it. Also, making it a Link 2 would be effective, because you can't make Fogo with it really unless you open absolutely broken. If you open Soul Charge, you're already winning even if this card didn't exist. So with that in mind, I think having a Link 2 that you can add the Fur Hire and Spell Trap, that would be kind of good. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, y'all. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Cyberse now. This has so many problems, but I'm just gonna name the two biggest ones that I think. One, not enough good starter cards or searchers. We have some searchers, but they're like, if you read Patrick Hoban's book, that would be just like a plain Jane extender. It is not a superior extender by any means. The only starter we have is Lady Debug, and that's really about it. I guess you could argue one-time passcode, but I don't think you're gonna have a strong argument because it hardly counts as a starter, considering the monsters you can link summon with it aren't good. Well, they're good, but you have to have an additional extender or 2 or 3 because the deck needs at least three cards to get any kind of a combo going, and that's not really what works nowadays in Yu-Gi-Oh! And even then, the 3-card combos don't get you a ton. You have to open like a very specific one. As far as like searchers or extenders go, a decent one, I guess, is Signet Backdoor, and you can only get max value out of it with Balancer Lord, just 1 card really. And even then, you have to have something like Lady Debug in your hand to really get the engine puttering along, because this engine is slow. It's fun, don't get me wrong, it's just slow. Something like, I mean, if you did open that hand, Signet Backdoor, Balancer Lord, and Lady Debug, that's pretty good. You get your Balancer Lord, pay 1,000, normal the Lady Debug, search something, Signet Backdoor, banish the Balancer Lord, special summon whatever you added with Lady Debug, and hopefully it was an extender, and you can just kind of combo off from there, I guess. So there's a cool scenario, but where's our other starter? You know what I'm saying? It would be cool to maybe get a spell in place of a starter, something like a field spell or something that allowed you, like I talked about in the last video with Cyberse, or where Cyberse is getting support. Something like a field spell, like Union Hanger, that is a starter as well as an extender, like something that gets you a level 4 or lower Cyberse card, and then, or one that like you can special summon one from your hand. I guess it's not really a starter, but man, we need something with Cyberse, because this is not good. Not only do we not have many good starters or searchers, we don't really have a lot of follow-up either, because once you make your board, if you want to call it that, there's no like dream board for Cyberse. I guess you can extra link, but even then, it's not that good. It was only really good with Goblin, and now that Goblin had to die for Firewall Sins, we don't really have that card anymore, and we can't really make that cool extra link board. You can make it, it's just you need like 4 or 5 cards, and it's just often not worth it, and it's worth it, it's just often breakable, and after that you have no follow-up because you used all of your resources on that turn, leaving you without a follow-up turn. So you really rely on making an unbreakable board, air quotes, or at least one where your opponent will not easily be able to get over it. Cyberse have a long way to go before they are any kind of competitively viable version of itself. Lots of starters are needed. Maybe you can just put Cyberse as an engine, because as of now, the deck is booty. However, Magical Musketeers, that deck is not booty. If we ever get Max in the TCG, oh boy, it's good. That's a good thing. But the deck still, even with Max, has some inherent problems. I think maintaining board presence is one of them. The deck already has the continuous trap, Fiendish Deal, which prevents your Musketeers from being destroyed, but it doesn't stop them from being targeted. So maybe an additional trap that prevents them from being targeted, something like Forbidden Dress Attacks, or something like Call by the Grave. That's a searchable spell that negates the card in grave, like hand traps. I don't know. I don't think. I guess making it as generic as Call by the Grave would be kind of ridiculous, a little bit overpowered. Call by the Grave is already at 2, so if we gave them 3 searchable Call by the Graves, I think that's probably a little bit too much. So maybe just some way to negate the activation or effect of a card that would negate a Magical Musketeer. Maybe like a searchable spell like that, or maybe not searchable trap, because I want it to be as fair as possible. So if they had like anti-spell fragrance up, then maybe that would make it slightly more fair going second. But going first, even it's more of a going first card, so I guess it doesn't really make it any more fair. But the fact that you can't activate this Call by the Grave-like effect unless you have a musket on the board kind of makes it a little bit more fair. I'm not sure. I don't know about that one. But there needs to be one more like card that covers that little bit of ground, either the targeting or some way to negate the hand traps, or some way to negate the stuff that negates our stuff. Maybe definitely don't make it a counter trap though, because we already have one that's pretty strong. But I guess that leads us into another of the issues, is you drawing into the musketeers themselves. I don't really think we need a card to fix that. I guess there's just a point to make. Drawing into a musketeer is hard, so if there was something to add to make this deck, I think that would make it a little bit broken. Something to add would be like a way to search a magical musketeer, just a spell that does that. Maybe then you can't special summon for the rest of the turn, so you can't just immediately go into max. I don't know, because I don't think they need a way to search, because they don't need any other searcher except for Caspar. Caspar is already fair enough. If they just had a spell that searched the Caspar, that's a little bit too broken. We're talking like, it's like, it reminds me of Zodiac in some sense. So that's just something I guess to think about. If you were into musketeers and you did think they need a searcher, I think you should reconsider. They already have a searcher. That would be way too broken. Anyways, I also don't think they're good at getting over already established boards. It's not like too much of an argument to make. It's just hard to get over established boards. All you have is a monster. You summon a monster, and you kind of just have to hope you open a bunch of spot removal. I think the only possible card they could add would be another spot removal card, something like Compulsory Evacuation Device. That's the only card that they don't necessarily have. They have a trap that banishes from grave. They have a trap that pops face-up cards. They have a trap that negates spell and traps. Only the activation, though, so I guess that's pretty fair. They have a spell that negates face-up monster effects. So I think having something like a Compulsory Evacuation would really allow us to push through those going second boards, because this deck has a lot of trouble going second. Because once the Musketeer's off the field, as all of you Musketeer players know, it's really hard to play from there. We don't have like a call by the Gray, or a call by the a Call of the Haunted. God, so I guess maybe that's something they could get, is to maintain board presence, they have a continuous trap that is a Call of the Haunted, but it's searchable. I don't know. So that way, even though we get Ghost Ogred or we get Veilered, we can still just get it. We can no, because then you have to control a Musketeer. So I don't know. Maybe it's just another continuous trap. I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, y'all. I know I covered some pretty fun decks, I would argue, but man, I don't know, Cyberus is something else. I just want that deck to get some support. Let me know if you think I should talk about any other decks, or you want to see any other decks talked about as far as like ones that could use support. Let me know down in the comment section below, y'all. This is Alex from Plus3 TCG, signing out.